were discussing about some techniques for an actor, right? And you are specializing in Meisner technique, the way you're teaching your student. तो आप बताओ इस टेक्निक के बारे में.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, the importance of a technique is paramount because it just makes you come across as a professional actor. I have not met a lot of say, I will not meet a dentist or an architect who have a hit or miss technique. Can you imagine going to a dentist जिसका hit or miss हो? वैसा नहीं होगा, right? कि यार ये challenge तो मैंने कभी face नहीं किया. And that's why they go through a 4-year process just to get a bachelor's degree. Acting के अंदर मैंने बहुत notice किया कि थोड़ा सा कि chance, lack of preparation. Because a lot of people believe that spontaneity comes from lack of preparation. And I believe in the opposite. That's what my teachers believe in, that spontaneity comes with a lot of preparation and then letting it go.
Okay.
So it comes with a lot of preparation and then letting it go instead of the other way around. And so a lot of people have a hit or miss technique. I don't know how to approach this text or not. So ultimately, as an actor, we need a technique which is strong, and it's not by chance. Things are not happening by chance. So whatever text I get, I can turn that into behavior.
Right. It's like a toolkit that you pick up what is best for that particular
Exactly.
situation.
That I have a toolkit and I can turn this text, whatever text I'm given, whichever director I'm working with, writing styles can be very different. I can identify my challenges and I can turn that into behavior which is authentic, number one, and then number two is interesting and engaging.
Right.
So that's the basic technique that you need to build for yourself. कि by chance चीजें नहीं हो रही. What I love about Meisner is that he identified that he was a pianist. Meisner was a pianist. So he used to practice scales.
Okay.
But obviously people never perform scales. They perform full music, right? And so Meisner identified that actors need to have a certain exercise which they can practice, which can help them in the scene.
Okay.
So he came up with this amazing exercise which is called repetition exercise, which really helps you in getting out of your head, putting the focus on the other person, being honest, because in life we cannot always be honest.
Right.
You just have to be politically correct so many times. And so training that muscle of following your impulse. In life I can't follow impulses. So as an actor I need to first identify my impulses, follow them, and it has a very step-by-step thing. That's another thing I really like about Meisner, that it has a lot of structure. So once we identify what are my impulses, what are my truthful impulses, and we get out of our head, then I can go into putting my focus on another person, and then we add an object which is called an independent activity.
Okay.
Where we are doing something which requires our 100% concentration.
Okay.
And what that does is that if my mind is involved there, I can be honest with you.
Right.
And then we go into imagination, which is like a whole new world. We go with daydreaming and we have to justify why we are doing something. So say I'm solving a Rubik's Cube, now I have to make this important.
Okay.
So every day you're solving an acting problem in a way, because you are making something important for you. And ultimately when we get a script, the writer might have written something which is important for the character, but it's not important for me.
Okay.
So how do I make this important for me? That requires my imagination.
Okay.
And so we go into daydreaming. We try to identify our hotspots. We identify our defense mechanisms. That's another thing that actors need to identify very early on. What are their defense mechanisms?
Right.
Because defense mechanisms hinder us from being honest. Like some people like smile a lot. Some people are always like smiley, even when they don't feel like smiling.
Okay.
That can be a defense mechanism. Retaliation is also a defense mechanism. All these things prevent us from taking anything that has been said to us in.
Okay.
And actors need to react. For that, they need to take everything in. So identifying your defense mechanisms and then identifying what are your hotspots. What are the things that matter to you? A hotspot can be any person who is close to you, or a pet, or a grandparent, your sister.
Okay.
Also, hotspots can be like injustice, loneliness, things like that. So, really knowing yourself very well, so that you know, okay, where do I have to go in my imagination for me to make this important for me.
Okay. It's interesting.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, and it's really a deep dive into yourself.